Today, I'm going to give you a deep dive into estate agent secrets. Managed to get an interview, very insightful interview, with one of estate agents that we work with here in Colchester. So I wanted to give you all this information so you can apply it right away into your property journeys. Self-development is such an important key factor in my life. What's your opinion on that front? What would you recommend to our viewers, to our listeners, to do on that front? How important do you think it is, self-development and improvement?
My opinions on this have changed, Jay, I'd say, in the last 12 months. 12 months ago, I would have been, it's good if you've got time. That would have been my opinion 12 months ago. But 12 months ago, Boyden as a company went and got some training and mentorship externally from a company, and it has been a real eye-opener as to how much we were kind of missing out on or kind of taking for granted, and it's been a real game changer in terms of additional revenue that we've managed to get just from doing a few kind of key changes. We're not talking kind of 50 quid, we're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of kind of additional revenue over the years that we've managed to achieve from this, just from speaking to someone that's outside the business. That's the business side of things, but then also as a self-motivator as well. It's pushed me on. There's, a year ago, I kind of thought, what have I done to deserve kind of taking over from Dad? I was kind of thinking, you've just been born into it, as we were saying earlier. What right do you have to take on the company? And actually, they've kind of taught me that, you've put the work in, and you do know your stuff, but also said you can take the business onto another level. Like, Dad's done some brilliant things in the 40 years that he's been part of the business, and I kind of always thought, what more can I actually do with it? Whereas going out and doing that self-development and mentoring has taught me that, wow, there is so much more that I can do with the business and take it on to another level. So it is, I think without that, I would have been, of that 12 months ago period, of being like, well, it's not that important. If I can do it, then brilliant. But if not, then not the end of the world. But I think it's pivotal, actually.
100%. I think for me, self-development, paramount. It's like looking in the mirror. I've got a little saying, self-reflection should all be about self-development. Right? Every time I see myself in the mirror, I'm thinking to myself, I'm about a better person than I was yesterday. How can I be a better person every day? And for me, it's as simple as, look, I go out and need to learn from someone else that's ahead of me on whatever subject we're talking about. Not only financially, we obviously have several mentors, coaches, and advisors, but also internally in my spirit. I've got a coach for my transcendental meditation. I got a coach for back in the gym, people that should have to stretch, etc., etc. So for me, in all aspects of my life, I look at someone else that is ahead of me and tap into that knowledge. So important, isn't it?
And I'd also say, Jay, that a lot of people, like myself a year ago, were comfortable, and there was also a bit of a fear of change. And a great thing that I've learned from a coach this year has been comfort, and the fear of that change is the greatest enemy of success.
True.
And if you can get over that comfort and break through that fear of change, then you're on that way to hopefully a bit more success as such.
So for me, the moment I reach that door from my office, I leave all the business behind, and I just focus and try to be in full flow with my family here. So we don't discuss business in here. We just discuss, we just go through and concentrate on my family, that sort of thing. Because as a business owner, we always say our head is buzzing all the time. Another way to do it is meditation, and another way to do it, I've got a plunge pool in there.
Oh yeah,
ice
cold
bath.
pool.
that brings me down to earth, bring me down to the moment, that sort of stuff, you know. So those are my sort of nuggets I will share in this. But if anything like it, if you do whatever you do,
I've always been quite good at switching off.
There you go.
Which is my issue, I suppose.
We're both business owners. Our heads are, and more than any other head, in my view, is buzzing all the time.
Yeah.
Right, and we need to keep that subconscious mind with full of good thoughts and switch off for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, and balance our lives from professional to personal life.
Yep.
You know, our families and so on and so forth. What tips would you give to our listeners on how you to switch off and to keep that balance?
I suppose what I must admit, still learning to do, which is that you can be working on the business whilst you're not in the business. You know, I've been going out doing, you know, constant valuations and kind of viewings, those kind of things, flying around, doing stuff. But actually, I'm learning that to be less busy in the business, I can actually take the business further forwards by having some time to reflect on what we've done and ways in which we can grow the business in certain areas. So I've always been quite lucky that I don't, apart from when there's really stressful times going on, I can kind of switch off a little bit from the business, which is something that I know a lot of people do struggle with, and I think it's similar with yourself, Joe. Over the years, you've kind of got your ice baths and your meditation, these kind of things. Luckily for me, I don't tend to ponder on it so much. It may be different in times to go, but my thing is that I don't need to be running around in the business 9 till 5 every day. I can actually take some time out to go and, you know, blue sky thinking. You know, awesome. no thought is too silly when you're kind of thinking of moving the business forwards, really. Right. I'd say that's where I've probably learnt most, I suppose, personally on that front.
Yeah. Have goals, okay? Have long-term goals, or perhaps be more detailed, a vivid vision of where we want to be in the next 3 years, 5 years. But it's important to have quarterly goals, in my view, right?
Great.
What do you do to stay motivated every single day to accomplish those goals?
I think you almost hit the nail on the head, Jay, when you asked the question, is that I don't think many people actually do set goals enough. I think that, again, people rushing around, kind of just that hamster on that wheel, just constantly running around madly. I think that the biggest thing you can do is to sit down, get a piece of paper and put, you know, 4 pieces of paper out in front of you. You've got 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, and then 5 years, and just pen out what you want to achieve in that time. You know, some businesses, maybe at the end of that 5 years is to sell the business. For myself, that's not my 5-year goal, obviously, because we've been long established for a long time. That'd be the worst thing that can happen. But if I was starting up a new business, like, I don't know, a manufacturing company or you know, food processing, something like that, I would probably build in those goals that at the end of that 5 years, I'll sell to the likes of Nestle or some big conglomerate, that I build it up to be profitable. And that would kind of be my goal on that one. So I think it depends on your business as to what goals you want to build into it. So, and obviously what you want to achieve, but definitely goal setting is good. And taking it back to the monthly or weekly goals, if you continually don't get to those goals, then there's no point in setting them. So make sure that those goals that you set for that month, you do actually achieve. Don't just put it to the side.
100%.
Keep it at the top of your, you know, in your phone, your tasks. You can set that on your iPhone, and just make sure that you do achieve them. Because if you don't achieve those month goals, you're not going to achieve those 5-year goals.
I couldn't agree more with you. That's the reason that I developed my first publication. It's called My FA Journey. In there, I get to my students to write the quarterly goals. write exactly what they want, be specific, small goals, okay? But also to write down what are you going to reward yourself after you accomplish them. Because we sometimes come to the point where we are like working, not fun at all. And we're not rewarding ourselves enough. So keeping that reward in mind as well also helps me to keep me motivated.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't need to be something big, something
a nice meal at your favourite restaurant or something like that.
100%. So that's key for me to keep me motivated. And as I just pointed out as well, reviewing, important. Weekly review. What did I do well? What didn't know so well? Didn't go so well, and so on and so forth. And learning from those mistakes, perhaps that you make is important too.
Absolutely, Joe.